Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today I'm going to show you how you can take a Dollar Tree Patriotic wrapped tinsel wreath frame and make a flower wreath with it. You can get these at Dollar Tree right now, but hurry up because before long they won't have them anymore. So make sure you watch this video, learn how to use a Dollar Tree frame to make a beautiful flower. So the first thing that we're going to start with is cutting our poly burlap mesh. I'm using poly burlap. You could use fabric mesh to make this wreath. You could use deco mesh. It's really up to you what you might have on hand, what's available in your area, and so forth. I have been wanting, I just like pink. Pink is my favorite color, so it just kind of makes me happy. So I'm going to use pink. So I'm going to cut out 40 pieces of this, and I'm going to use a little bit more than a roll, so that's why I've got some leftover of a roll. But you could use less petals. You would just stagger them out more than I am going to do today. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our wood burner. I have a glass cutting board underneath my wood burner, and that's all I'm going to use for cutting the mesh. Now, you can get this stuff from my Amazon shop. In the description box below, you'll see my Amazon affiliate or favorites or whatever you want to call it. And this stuff will be under the wreath making must-haves. So all I do is I just go in between the lines, and it does smoke, and poly burlap puts out a smell. So you really should be wearing a mask. You should be doing this in a ventilated area because of the fumes, okay? I'm just gonna tell you, you need to be careful. So I have this on my 10-inch mark, and so I'm just gonna cut this at 10 inches, and I'm gonna go all the way down. And so I'm just going to cut the rest of my mesh just like this. I am going to cut some green for some petals or some leaves, and I'm going to cut them at 10 inches as well. So whatever the length of your roll is, if it's 10.5 inches, cut it at 10.5. But my roll is 10 inches, so we're going to cut it at 10 by 10. Okay, so let's talk about the wreath frame we're going to use. And this is where we're going to bring in Dollar Tree and all of this, because this is the typical wreath frame I use. It's a 10-inch wire wreath frame, and it has 5 sections, and they're really hard to find right now. So I'm going to put this to the side because we're not going to use that for this wreath, but we are going to use this Dollar Tree version. And when you go to Dollar Tree, or maybe you want to order on Dollar Tree online, and I will leave you my link. I have an affiliate link for Dollar Tree down below in the description box. But what this is their like patriotic red, white, and blue tinseled wreath, okay? So all I was doing, I was at the store, and I'm looking at their Dollar Tree items, and I'm like, okay. I turned this over, and I thought, wait a minute. That's like a 10-inch wreath form, because I can pretty much look at stuff now and know the inches. It's crazy. But all you're going to do is just take off the tinsel, okay? So once you take off the tinsel, this is what you're left with, all right? Now, the question might be, is this strong enough to be a flower wreath? Yes, it is strong enough. It is a little flexible, but I really do feel like this would still be a very durable product. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clip off, you don't have to clip off this part, but I am, the little hanger, because I'm not going to use that part. It just depends on how the wreath turns out and which direction I want to hang it. So you have on this, you can make this work into 5 sections like a regular 10-inch. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All you do is you add 2 squares and 2 squares, which is 4, and it makes 1 equal section. So let's talk about how we are going to put the petals on this wreath for this tutorial, but you can use this the same way as you would use on any of my other tutorials. Just use some plastic canvas mesh. You could also, I also thought you could, even if you have trouble finding plastic canvas mesh, get one of those dish drainers. You could put that in the middle, and you could connect your flower petals on this as well. So that's just another side note option for you. I've showed you too, I think the rug, a mat thing that you put underneath your rugs at Dollar Tree, you could cut that out and put it in here as well. So what are we going to do? We're going to start with the bottom square here, okay? I'm going to connect it on this second wire. So I'm just going to take my 10-inch by 10-inch. I'm going to have the bottom is down here, the top is up there. I'm going to make my petal, gather flip it over, and then I simply take the right petal and take the left petal and put it over top. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put it underneath. Do you see what I just did there? I just putting it underneath, okay? So when I've done that, I'm going to take my zip tie and I'm going to go and connect it right there. So I connected it on this side of the wire, or I guess this is the bar or whatever you want to call it, on this side of the bar and this side of the bar. So that way it will connect it and keep it going in one direction. Now, if you notice, the top of my petal here is connected or touching that third bar right there. So let's do another one. I'm going to do the same method, meet in the middle, flip, and gently make our petal, okay? I'm going to go underneath, take my zip tie, and I'm just going to keep doing this same method. I'm going to do it all the way around. There are 20 of these squares, and since there are 20 of these squares, I've already got 40 petals. Now, I always like to put this petal over top because then that way my finished edges are showing. So I'm just going to keep doing that, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the first layer of 20 petals on. As you can see, it's pretty full. So if you wanted to do 15, if you just wanted to do 3 per section, you could do that. Okay, so it's really up to you. It's really up to you how much product you have to use. I had purchased this mesh a long time ago, but you can get it from Trendy Tree, you can get it from the Wreath shop, and I will leave my links below. So the next part we're going to do is the second row, and we're just going to do 2 rows for this, I hope, because we're going to use this yellow center, and it's a bigger center. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the same method of a petal. I'm going to start it off by working on each of these crossbars. So if you see a crossbar, even if it doesn't go all the way down, we're still going to work with it. So let's just start at that one. Okay, I'm going to go underneath here with my zip tie, and I'm just going to leave it there, okay? So I'm going to show it to you. See where that is? All right, so all we're going to do is do the same thing. We're going to make our petal, bottom, finished side, and the top is the finished side, so that when we put our petal down, we always have that finished side showing. Okay, so that's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to clip that. I'm going to go to the next bar. I'm going to just put a zip tie in there and do it again. So I'm just going to keep this repeating this step. We're going to do 20 petals on this as well, and then we will work on the middle, getting that all together and putting the leaves on. Okay, so we have our wreath sitting over here. It looks really pretty, and we're going to work on the center. I'm just going to use a pre-made center. You can use a number of centers that I have here on YouTube. You could add another layer of petals. Again, I will list or link a video tutorial of how to do this method with 3 layers. All you would need to do for this Dollar Tree frame is add some plastic grid or something that the petals can hook into. So, but for this one, we're just going to use this bigger center because I've been wanting to use it. They sell them, I believe, at Trendy Tree and the Wreath shop. And this one is, I believe, it's like an 8.5 or 8 3/4 inches in diameter. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a pipe cleaner this time. And you know what? I'm going to take 2 this time. And I'm going to take some floral pens, and I'm just going to go in kind of sideways. I could cut these like so with my little clippers here. Probably do one edge at a time. I don't want it to go flying like it just did. There we go. But, or you could just put it in sideways like I did before. So I'm just going to put, I usually put about 3, and that kind of is enough to hold it in. And then I take a piece of felt. So I'm going to look for I always have scrap felt everywhere. And so I'm just gonna cut like a square piece here. I'm gonna use my glue gun, and we're gonna put some glue on that felt. I'm also gonna put some glue where those pens are. I think I need a little bit more glue in my glue gun there. And then we're gonna lay it over top. And then for added measure, I like to take my little pens, and you can use any pens you have on hand. These are my T pens that I like to use. And that way you let that dry, and it just gives it a little bit extra security there. So let's let this dry, and we're gonna go work on our leaves. Okay, so now let's work on the leaves of this flower. And honestly, you don't even have to add the leaves. I just like the green with the pink and the yellow. I just think it kind of adds a little bit of a pop of color. So again, you're going to work with the 5-section thinking or method here. So here's 1 section, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I'm just going to put my zip tie under one side here. I'm going to make my petal. I'm going to grab it like that, and then I'm just going to attach it. All right, and I'm going to focus on that petal or leaf being on the outside of that frame so that it just sticks out. We don't need a bunch of a leaf showing, but this will just show just a little bit. So I'm going to go to the next section, which would be here. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to put my zip tie, I'm going to have it waiting, and then make my petal, which is just like the bow tie, and you put it in there. So I'm going to finish this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're almost finished with our wreath. When I'm done with this, I will cut out a piece of felt and I will cover the back of the wreath, but really when you look at it, it's pretty neat in appearance. You don't have any kind of scragglies anywhere, so you could just skip that step, but I always just like to add it. So I'm just going to take a pipe cleaner, and I just need to make a cross section, and that's all I want to do here. So I'm just going to take it and just wrap it around, because this is what our middle is going to connect to. So then that way, if you don't have plastic canvas mesh and you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. All right, so I'm just going to do this. You just need a spot right in the middle there, okay? So now that we have that middle, I'm just going to take my center here, and I'm going to go through both sides. I'm going to show you here. All right, do you see what I just did? Get my hand out of the way, Julie. That'll help. So you're just going to pull that, make sure that it's right where it needs to be, and then I'm just going to twist it. And that is your wreath made with a Dollar Tree form. And I'm just going to wrap this around the other ones, and that should be good. So let's look at it now. So there you go. So sometimes you just got to kind of move it around. But there is your really pretty flower wreath. This is a little bit bigger center, so it's a little bit different than I've made in the past, but I really think that this is cute. So if you've made it this far, if you've made it, and I appreciate it, if you like the video, make sure to leave, give me a thumbs up. I can't talk right now. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get notified. Make sure to check the description box below so that you can see all the wreath supplies that I use, and I will connect some other videos. Maybe you'd like to watch the playlist of my wreath centers and different wreaths that I make. If you're on Facebook, join my wreath group and crafting group called Wreath Creators and More. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and we will see you next time in Julie's Wreath Boutique. Bye-bye.